Item 1.03 is approval of revision of agenda. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Fayetteville-Manlius Central School District approves the agenda as presented. May I have a motion that began? John, all in favor? Any opposed or abstaining? Thank you. Item 1.04, we have a recognition. Dr. Sugar.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Scott Sugar, Director of Athletics here at Fayetteville-Manlius. I'm here with retired Athletic Director Rich Roy, and we are pleased to have the opportunity to recognize one of our retiring coaches, Mr. Phil Rudolph. Phil has been a teacher and a coach here. Phil is a lifelong resident here at FM. He's a graduate of FM in 1978. He returned to FM in 1984 after graduating from Cornell. He was our girls varsity tennis coach for 40 years. And in that time, he amassed a coaching record of 573 wins and 11 losses. I'm not sure if that's more impressive or this next stat, that in 32 years that we've been crowning sectional championships, Coach Rudolph's team have won 30. So you pick, but there's two good records for you. Finally, at one point during his career, Coach challenged his teams, and they decided to win 329 matches in a row. That stat actually got him and his team into the Sports Illustrated magazine back in the day. So, Coach, first, on behalf of myself and the district, congratulations on a tremendous career and the number of lives you've impacted both in the classroom and on the tennis court.
I started as AD here at FM in 1990, and I did not hire Phil Rudolph. That's how long he's been here. He's one of two coaches that I didn't hire in my tenure here. Phil's coaching, he not only coached girls tennis, but he coached in lacrosse and basketball, and did those for a number of years. And what rang through with Phil, Scott mentioned the record number of wins, but his relationships with the student athletes that he mentored and coached. He had the 300 and some odd wins, but he has thousands of relationships between the three coaches that three teams he coached over the 40 years. And I know all of those kids remember him fondly. But his passion for the sports he coached and the kids that he coached was just always rang through. And Phil, congratulations on the well-deserved retirement.
And now I'd like to introduce Vice President Rebecca Cohen, who was also a former tennis player for Coach Rudolph.
On behalf of the board, I want to congratulate Coach Rudolph again on an insanely successful 40 years of FM varsity girls tennis. As was already said, he had one of the longest winning streaks in American sports, and that was in Sports Illustrated. Coach Rudolph, every season you've led the tennis team to smashing success, but equally valued, you are a role model to those around you, inspiring our student athletes to do their best and represent FM with integrity in class. As a four-year varsity player and captain in the 90s, I can personally say that you brought your best to coaching every day and walked the walk, getting out there and running the preseason fitness runs with the team, playing with us on the court, and working hard to bring out the best in a generation of student athletes both on and off the court. Always wearing your teacher hat, you helped athletes see the bigger picture, using athletics as a platform to teach valuable life lessons that extended far beyond a point or a match. Now that you're officially retired from teaching and now coaching, FM will miss you dearly, but know that you've built a tremendous legacy that will live on at FM forever. Thank you so much for your incredible service to our district.
Claims audit review. So our internal claims auditor does I'm the Assistant Superintendent for Instruction. I'm also a really proud parent of an FM musician, and I know I echo a lot of voices in this room when I say I am tremendously grateful for the experience that my kids have had through the music curriculum here. Ooh, okay. I'm going to stand back just a little bit. Music and the fine arts are absolutely essential to the development of our students. And when you look at the New York State standards for the arts, they list a few words: create, perform, produce, respond, and connect. And when I was putting together some of the slides with our director, our K-12 director of music, and the incredible teachers that we will welcome this evening, I called back to something I pulled out in 2018, which is the music program from FM High School when we ran Cinderella. And I looked back at the director's note, which was written by Sean Hebert, who will be presenting with me tonight. And he talked about the fact that looking at the Positivity Project and the strengths that exist, and what we try to exude for all of our students, we talked about teamwork. And he spoke about the fact that K-12 music is the biggest team that we have at FM. And that's really represented here tonight. And what it takes to be a team member is so incredible. And whether that's dance, whether that's voice, whether that's instrumentation, all of the practice that goes in during classrooms, at home, right before board meetings, is a really, really special thing. And again, as a parent of somebody who's come through this district and this program, that stays with you, regardless of whether or not you major in music, regardless of whether or not you continue in music after FM. And so music is a community. And so tonight's presentation is not just about what we do, it's also about how we do it. And there's no better way to share what happens is to go beyond the standards to see what happens in our classrooms. And so I'll turn it over to Mr. Hebert, who will talk a little bit about the different parts of the standards and what you're going to see tonight.
Thank you very much, and I'm glad that I wrote something that made sense in that program. That's been 7 years, so I wasn't sure where you were going with that, actually. Thank you all for being here tonight, and this is just one more indication of what a strong community we have at Fayetteville-Manlius to come out and support this sort of presentation. I will admit I was going to use the slides to cheat a little bit on what I was going to say, and so it's a little bit of a challenge. But the main thought of when we were putting this together, we wanted to showcase some of the great numbers that we have here, some of the fantastic achievement that some of our students have, and so forth. But really, what this is about is two things. One is that music is for everyone. There is not a student in this district that doesn't have some participation in music between their K-12 journey. The second is that scaffolded foundation that is built, and so that's why we came up with the idea. That's why we came up with the idea of having a presentation that shows here is our second grade foundation, building up to our 7th and 8th grade, and up to one of our most experienced choral groups at the high school, which is swing. So what I get to do with the kids that are in 11th and 12th grade for the most part that are in swing is because of the great foundation that is built from Ms. Komar and Mrs. Brooks and all of our fantastic music teachers here at FM. And so I think you'll get a nice opportunity to see how they build that through movement, through instrument playing, through singing, and experiencing music. So I'll turn things over to our fantastic second grade team.
Hello, my name is Shelley Brooks. I'm the music teacher at Fayetteville Elementary, and we're going to demonstrate in about 30 seconds. But we start with the steady beat and matching pitch, and that's the goal. And we go from there to being able to feel, sing, say, dance, and play is the ORF mantra. And we go from the steady beat and matching pitch to being able to subdivide and do elongations, and to be able to first echo melodic patterns, and then hear them in our heads, and then eventually be able to read them and hear them in our heads, just like you can your novel when you pick it up. So, Finley or Noah or whoever, play me a D, please, on your bar. Just hit D.
So we go. Do, sol, la, sol, mi, sol, go. Do, sol, la, sol, mi, sol. And then do, sol, la, sol, mi, re, do. Do, sol, la, sol, mi, re, do. And now for the performance. Ready? Okay. Bass bars. Wait, eyes on me, get in place.
All right, so while we transition, as we transition to our 7th and 8th graders, thank you so much to our 2nd graders for sharing some of the things that we work with in K-12 music development. Everything from singing voice to music to keeping the beat and steady rhythms. And we'll continue our journey with our 7th, 8th grade group. While they're setting up, I do want to recognize the incredible numbers of students who participate consistently through our music programs. So you can see that we're the beneficiaries of fantastic programs, and I'll turn it over to Mr. Hebert to share some more detail.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so one of the great things that we've been fortunate to have here is great participation. And we start our 4th grade strings. We start our strings in 4th grade and have over 200 students playing string instruments in 4th grade, which is incredible. And then in 5th grade, many of those students continue playing string instruments, but they're also introduced to the band instruments. And so we have, again, over 200 5th graders playing either wind or percussion instruments or string instruments. that doesn't just happen at many districts, and so we're really fortunate to have such strong participation, and we know that that comes from the support of the community and, of course, the support of the board and the administration. Great. So we have some of our some of our 7th and 8th grade singers here. We're trying to figure out how to fit on the risers, obviously, while maintaining our space for the for the screen here. We're going to do auditions and get rid of 10 of them in a second. So no. But this is a wonderful collaborative performance here. So. Mrs. Tobby and Mr. Pokrentowski both teach 7th and 8th grade chorale at the 2 different buildings. And our 7th and 8th grade audition song for All County is a piece called Throw Open Your Shutters. So both of the middle schools are working on this in their 7th and 8th grade chorales, and we thought it would be a great example to showcase and to share with you all. But how do they get there? What are the skills that are built to be able to achieve that? How do they teach the reading component? So you could see in 2nd grade, we're working steady beat, movement, we're working on our singing voice, we're working on collaborative performance, and certainly some notation, but not a lot of notation, especially in like kindergarten, 1st, 2nd grade. That gets built up. And then by 7th and 8th grade, we're really hoping to do some of the literacy components as well. So I will turn it over to Mr. P, and he can either show or tell whatever we're going to do with our solfa.
I just want to speak briefly and say the presentation by the 2nd grade team was such a great kind of precursor to what we're going to be doing here, because our first kind of introduction that you're going to hear is how we build kind of knowledge of literacy with solfege, and then go directly into our performance of Throw Open Your Shutters. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
So as our students, our middle school, 7th and 8th graders, thank you so much. As they're exiting, I'll ask Mr. Hebert and Mr. P to just sort of walk through what that process was for our middle school students and how that builds from our elementary school students. Once they move students. All right, so Mr. Hebert will walk just through sort of that middle school process and what that looks like through those different scales.
So as you may have noticed, we use the Kerwin hand signs. Those are the solfege hand signs, and solfege is a way to develop our language of how to read music. And Mr. Pokrantowski and Mrs. Tavi ran those 7th and 8th graders through a scale in thirds, the do, do, re, do, which is a building up scale, and then doing that with independent parts, which is really great to see. Again, I am the recipient of such wonderful teaching, and it's great to see that happening at our 7th and 8th grade level for sure. Our final group tonight is swing. And this is 20 of our high school choral students. They are auditioned. This is a group that meets once per week. We rehearse on Monday nights, so this worked out for us. Thank you for making your board meetings on Monday. We appreciate that. And swing is really, in my opinion, the only group that I work with that is more performative than process. So I'm very big in working on the process and developing musicianship and developing the skills that we need. Swing only rehearses once a week, and it's really here's the music, we need to be able to do it right off the bat. So these kids are all great readers, they are all great at holding parts, they are all great at learning music quickly, and so we're going to share 3 of our favorite pieces with you. The first is called Puttin' on the Ritz. Thank you very much. Again, I'd like to say thanks so much for supporting the fine arts at Fayetteville-Manlius. We're going to close our portion of the music presentation with our arrangement of Jingle Bells. Hope you enjoy it.
Wait, there's more. I promise you'll want to see this. But I'm going to keep going no matter what. In addition to some of the fantastic things that you've seen here today, we couldn't bring everybody to the meeting. But please know that there are multiple bands, multiple orchestras, multiple choirs, multiple music classes at a variety of different levels, in addition to dozens of concerts and ensembles. We're proud to say that we have diverse composers being chosen at K-12. And that there are a lot of different cultures, a lot of different people across space and time that are represented within our music program. In addition, we wanted to recognize that half of our students are recognized through our K-12 music program. Wow, we really cleared out, huh? All right, we're gonna miss the big announcement. In addition to those honors, you know, we just wanted to recognize those students. When you take a look at the numbers, not just the numbers of students who participate within the music programs, but the numbers of students that are recognized. for honors within the music program. It really speaks to not just their level of commitment, but the level of commitment of our families, our community, as well as our teachers. In addition, there are a lot of different places where our students can participate in the music program regardless of whether or not they're entering different state competitions, right? So you can be a part of the ukulele club. You can be a part of our musicals in a lot of different ways. And with that, we're gonna leave you with an announcement about this year's musical. This was the presentation by Mr. Hebert to his class about this year's high school musical choice. That's what the fine arts is all about at FM. So that kind of excitement, you know, the record sales for The Lion King at Eagle Hill, the production that's going to be happening at Wellwood, and Once Upon a Mattress. These are things that bring our community together. And again, we talked about this being the biggest team in the district. It's also something that brings our community together. So. Although there are fewer people here, I know that the crowd will be full for the next musical. And with that, we want to thank our families, our community, and especially the board for the support that you give for the fine arts program here at FM. It's world class, and that is really testament to our incredible educators, our incredible students, and the unconditional support of the district and our community in making sure that our kids have every opportunity to be a part of this music team. So thank you very much. And we'll open time for questions. Mr. Hebert's still here.
Do we have any questions?
Okay, so Catherine, so real quick, it was hard to read the screen. So what is the musical?
So the musical is Newsies. Which is clearly what our students, our students are very excited about that one. It's a fantastic
There might
one.
have been a few tears there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of happy tears.
Happy tears, yeah.
Yep.
Well, I would just say thank you both for putting on this fantastic presentation. You're welcome to come back anytime. This was so enjoyable and such talent, and it's such a great opportunity for any child at FM to be able to participate in so many different ways. So it's really great. Thank you for all that you do. Greatly appreciated. Yep.
I just want to take this moment myself to publicly recognize all of our music educators. And this presentation, I haven't been on the board very long, but I can say unequivocally, this is my favorite meeting to date. Music is not just a part of a great education. Music is a critical component of a great education. And Mr. Hebert, the entire staff, both on the vocal music side and then with our bands and orchestras, just thank you for all that you do to inspire our students, to engage our families. The reaction of everyone tonight just shows what a great music program can do. And so just delighted to have this opportunity to publicly recognize you and all of our music educators for what you've done for our students and our families.
Thank you very much. And I know that many of my colleagues feel the same way, but I have always felt 100% supported by the community here, the board, the administration. There really has not been an instance where I've felt anything other than that, and it's a wonderful place to work. So thank you all.
Okay.
Sorry, Leslie. But now we are going to have a 12-month claims audit review presentation.
No.
Yeah, you can jazz hands with it.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Leslie Malinowski, and I've served as the board's district claims auditor since August of 2022. My financial experience includes over 20 years managing operating funds and drafting budget policy for the federal court system. My role here is to assist the board with ensuring the accuracy and integrity of the school district's financial transactions. The district also employs a deputy claims auditor, and his name is David Shraven. Dave's not here today, but he's a CPA, and he reports at least 2 days per year so that he can remain current on any changing school policies or matters. He also subs for me as needed. I come in 1 day per week, and I review the invoices, the requests, and all the claims for the schools, for all the schools within the district. And when these packets are submitted for payment, I go through each one and initial after looking through to ensure that everything is intact. Generally, I'm looking at claims for four different funds. I look over the general fund, the school lunch, special aid, and the capital or the building funds. So those invoices all come in with the attached paperwork, with the procurement and the department head signatures, and I have to make sure. I go through and flip through each page of each packet and make sure that that they're appropriate to be dispersed and that they're authorized. There's no unauthorized taxes charged, and that all the items were actually received and agree with the purchase orders. I also make sure that there's competing bids for anything that's over $25,000, or for capital goods over it's a little higher at $35,000, to make sure that we're getting the best prices on our services. And I also confirm that the payee and the address and all that information is correct, and we're getting the payments to the correct companies and individuals. And finally, I ensure that the check sequences are sequential, and there's no gaps or missing checks. We can account for every check that leaves the district. So what this work does is it allows to check for any clerical errors or omissions before any of the checks actually go out the door. So this helps to attain a clean yearly audit, which is done by external auditors. So that helps prepare for that. And for any issues that can't immediately be corrected, they're just held until we can resolve them. So what you're seeing up here is the monthly report that I submit to not only the board, but the financial supervisor and the superintendent's office. Thanks to Sarah Gridley's Excel formatting experience, we've now just recently revised it to be ADA compliant, and it's available on the district's website. It does contain all the same information that the old report used to have, but it's just a little cleaner, and it's more widely available and can be, read on the website. So this is basically showing the monthly outlays for all of these funds that I just mentioned. I also prepare in addition to this one, I thought I had to click here. Oh, maybe here, click. I don't know. How do we do that?
Menu bar?
Huh? I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to get it up there. Sorry. Oh, okay, that was easy. Okay, this is the annual version of what you just saw in the last report. It just rolls up all of those totals into a yearly amount. And these are available from year to year. As you can see, this one covers November through October, last November through this October 31st of this year. And the thing to note are the error margins. The error margins indicate whether our financial staff is doing a good job in preparing all the invoices and the backup paperwork, the purchasing information, and getting the proper signatures and everything's intact. And they've been doing a great job. As you can see, the margin error has been consistently lower than 1%, and that's for processing about 6,700 invoices. And those invoices, as you can see, were big numbers. They totaled approximately $123.5 million. So that's a lot of paperwork, and to have a less than 1% error rate is really very, very good. They're doing a remarkable job, and they're complying with all the state purchasing regulations. I've not encountered any questionable purchases or significant repeated errors, so everything is, they're doing just great. Everything's rolling along smoothly. I don't have anything unusual to report from last year. Everything is status quo, and unless anyone has any questions, this would conclude my report.
Thank you. Does
No
anyone have any
questions.
questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie.
All righty, thank you.
Okay. Item 2.03, President's Report. Nothing necessarily to report. I just wanted to wish everyone a happy holiday season. And also, if this season is not a happy time for everyone, I just wanted to make everyone aware that our mental health brochure is coming out in mailboxes shortly for students. And then for our staff members, just a reminder, a shout out for our EAP services, just to make sure everybody knows that those are available to them. And that is all for me. Item 2.04, Superintendent's Report.
Thank you, President Fitzgerald. Superintendent's Report is in your backup information. Item 1, capital project update. Construction work on the high school's $52 million capital improvement project continues with plans for contractors to move to the second floor in House 2 over the holiday break. Contractors are ensuring that utilities are being run for the first floor swing spaces that will accommodate temporary science classrooms as the project progresses. Interscholastic sports, a big shout out to Dr. Sugar and all the student athletes from our fall interscholastic athletic teams for being recognized as the NISFA Scholar Athlete teams. More than 200 fall varsity student athletes helped to achieve this accomplishment. Hornet pride. Winter concert season is underway, as many of you know, and I've enjoyed attending the performances of our vocal and instrumental student musicians. As the sun sets on my more than 10 years of service to the district, I cannot help but reflect. It was just a few years ago that I listened to many of these artists when they were in the elementary and middle school. I marvel how far they've progressed under the tutelage of some very talented music faculty. Well done. As President Fitzgerald mentioned, our Supporting Students Mental Health brochure should be hitting community mailboxes soon ahead of the holiday season, unlike the 3 earlier editions, which focused on our multifaceted approach of activities that promote wellness, strategies that foster relationships, and actions that support well-being. The new format of this year's publication centers on the plethora of tiered services that are being offered at nearly every level within our school district. The Panorama Student Screening Tool will be used in the weeks ahead. We'll be using a small sample of the Panorama questions that we've announced to the families in order to gauge student perceptions. The screening tool will provide valuable insights into student experiences so that the school district is able to improve and adapt our district to better meet their needs. Building life skills and supporting student mental health and wellness is an important part of the work that our counselors and other educational professionals do every day, and the district believes that student voice plays an important role in helping our schools to create engaging educational experiences for all students. The Panorama Student Survey will replace the BIMAS 2 screener that has been used in the past. And last but not least, our annual community survey has been mentioned before. Our annual report came out this autumn. It contains a QR code that's a link to community feedback. So our stakeholders are able to provide their input to the governance team. The survey is designed to gauge this community feedback, and the deadline's been extended to December 19th in an effort to encourage more participation. That ends my superintendent's report.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, great. Item 2.05, reports and committee updates. Marissa and Jacob, you guys have an update on the legislative?
We met in, was it October?
Yeah.
We met in October and discussed some different paths forward as far as like gauging students' opinions and being able to use that information to inform the board in our decision-making process. So we landed on the food service program and getting information about to students about what potential changes would look like compared to what they have now, and information about what students are actually purchasing right now, so that students could make a very well-informed decision about like, would they like to see certain changes take place. So I wasn't here at the last meeting, and we're going to, I'll ask Dr. Tice if we can get information about what students are purchasing in through the lunch program, and that will help inform the questions that Jacob puts together for students.
Great, thank you. Is there anything you wanted to add, Jacob?
Said well.
Great. Marissa, do you have a BOCES update as well?
Well, we were very pleased with the passing of our referendum last month. I believe it was 83% passing rate, so that was great. That'll allow some more classrooms in both Onondaga and Portland facilities, so a lot of needed repairs. There are a lot of very old facilities, so we are very grateful to the community for their support in getting that referendum passed.
Thank you. And Jacob, your student update.
Thank you. So Stuco, this Saturday, on December 13th, we'll be holding a volleyball tournament from, I believe, 6 to 8 o'clock. So hope to see some board members maybe participate. That'd be nice. Maybe have a team of board members. No? It's for the kids.
What is it for again?
It's Stuco, along with the MCs, so yes. So. Oh, there is a reward for the winning team, so.
Ooh, what is said reward?
I've not been told that yet.
We're a solid maybe.
Okay. On December 18th, after school, the MCs will also be doing their annual head shaving. Actually, talking with Mr. McNamara, who said if there's enough people who goes to a dance marathon, he may consider shaving himself. And so yeah, and he also put his beard on the line, which I mean, maybe that's a step too far. That's like your identity.
You're not asking for board volunteers for that part,
I mean, if you're volunteering, that's.
It's winter. It's winter, Jacob.
Fair enough. Okay. The Stuco would also be holding a blood drive on January 13th, which is a bit far in the future, but it's still good to know, at St. Anne's from 1:30 to 6:30. Week after our last school board meeting, there was a the high school students held a Jewish panel where they talked about their experiences at FM, as well as educating other fellow high schoolers about their beliefs. Also talking out about their experiences of anti-Semitism within the school. On the notes, some students have talked about concerns of homophobia within the school. So I would like to, there's also, I'll kind of leave off on a bit more of a positive note. Heating in the school, specifically in the music wing, has gotten better, as well as in the English wing. Well, especially with the addition of 5 heaters in the band room. Though it is still somewhat cold, it is better than what it was. But hopefully we can get the heating on soon. So yeah, I believe, oh, and roads. There are some concerns with the roads as well as the potholes. And if that's something we could consider having done. But also I have, okay, last note, apologies. I would like to kind of give a shout out to the maintenance who do all the plowing as well as salting in the morning. I see them at early in the morning at 4 a.m. just plowing and salting the grounds. It's just want to give a thank you for coming out so early in the morning to keep the roads safe.
So Jacob, why do you see them at 4 in the morning?
Let's just say I'm a morning person. Let's just say in the morning I have a tendency to be a bit more productive. For some reason, just in the car outside of the school, just sitting, just working in the car. I don't know why this is it's a bit bizarre, I know, but it's peaceful. There's no cars around, just the maintenance people salting the ground, plowing,
They've been wondering who this person is in the parking lot.
Don't worry, I'm giving the company. Yeah.
Oh, well, as long as you're getting enough sleep, Jacob.
Don't worry.
That was a great shout out, thank you. And regarding the feedback from the students, are you speaking with Mr. McNamara about those experiences and those feedback pieces to see if we can learn more? And
Yes, I intend to hold more meetings with them concerning these, so yes.
great. Does anybody have any additional questions for Jacob?
Yeah, I just want to, just as a quick follow-up, because I know we talked about this at the last board meeting, and I did share with board members, and Jacob, I apologize, I did not share it with you, I will forward it to you now. The heat question that was raised at the last meeting, and thus we had a facilities meeting that same week, we talked about that at length, and what was clarified is the quote-unquote, the heat issue was actually a series of 7 distinct, separate issues that all had the same effect, they all affect temperature. But as each arose, each was being addressed by our facilities team, and our construction teams were appropriate as well. So they seem to be the same issue. They were not the same issue. They were just an unfortunate series of back-to-back-to-back interrelated issues. There are still some, we are still in the midst of a major construction project, but our team, just as they do a phenomenal job outside, as you mentioned, they're doing their very, their very best inside as these issues arise to come to it. That Monday morning extreme cold situation was the result of a heat sensor tripping late on Friday that was not discovered until that Monday morning from a heat sensor in the kitchen. And that sensor was since moved to a different location so that it wouldn't trip the way that it was tripping. But surely it was an issue, but they're addressing these the very best that they can, given them what we're in the middle of. And then the second question was on the paving and the roads, and that is a part of the current high school project that we're having discussions currently about the timing of what is going to be paved, where it's going to be paved. We're looking at potentially some significant modifications to traffic and parking patterns at the high school. So very aware of it, know it's an issue, but pleased that it's being addressed as well.
Thank you, that's very comforting to hear.
Yep.
Jacob, just thank you for bringing up all of these issues to us. It's really important that we hear about them and really appreciate the feedback as well.
No problem.
Okay. Any other committees that have a pressing issue that they want to report on? Okay. Public comment. We don't have anyone for public comment. Is that correct? Okay.
That's correct.
All right. So we're going to go to item 4.01, executive session. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Fayetteville-Manlius Central School District enters into executive session for the purpose of discussing the superintendent search. May I have a motion, please? Thank you, Jason. And a second, John. And all in favor? Any opposition or abstention? Okay, thank you. And we will be returning afterwards for the rest of the meeting. Item 5.01, approval of minutes. Why is that not? Hold on, sorry. So we don't have a resolution. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of Fayetteville-Manlius approves the minutes of November 17th, 2025 as presented. I believe is my resolution. Thank you. Dan and John. Oh, we lost a few. All in favor? Anybody opposed or abstaining? 5.02, be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Fayetteville-Manlius Central School District approves the consulting agreement with the Transportation Advisory Service, TAS, in the amount of $17,000. May I have a motion, please? Thank you. Marissa, second. Thank you, Jason. Any discussion?
My only question on that is, did we have to RFP that, or can we do that without RFPing that?
We can do it without, it's a sole provider, we used them in the past, and we got approval from the state, we sent that in the email back.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
You have to take action in order for us to get the transportation.
Okay. All in favor? Anybody opposed or abstaining? Okay, thank you. Okay, ongoing business, board development, nothing. Marissa, at a future meeting, perhaps you could share any key highlights from the NISBA conference would be great. Sorry, I didn't get a chance to ask you that ahead of time. Upcoming meetings, so our next regularly scheduled meeting is January 12th. Potential consideration for future meetings, no updates on that. Feel free if anyone wants to stop me to add anything, feel free. Item 7, consent agenda. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Fayetteville-Manlius Central School District approves the consent agenda as presented. May I have a motion, please? Thank you, Dan. A second. Ann? All in favor? Anybody opposed or abstaining? Thank you. Okay. Nothing on 8. Oh, no. And item 9. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Fayetteville-Manlius Central School District enters into executive session for the purpose of discussing a student discipline matter and pending proposed litigation. May I have a motion, please? Thank you, Ann. And a second, John. All in favor? Anybody opposed or abstaining? Thanks. Okay.
And you may come back out.
To vote.
Yeah.
May. And adjourn. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Item 10.01, be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Fayetteville-Manlius Central School District, upon its review of the submitted appeal, upholds the 3214 hearing decision. May I have a motion, please? Thank you, Ann. And second, Jason. Thank you. All in favor? Anybody opposed or abstaining? Thank you. And item 10.02, be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby authorizes the district's attorneys for our Forenza PC to commence legal action in the form of a third-party complaint against Tucker McEwen to include him as a party defendant in the litigation identified as Onondaga County Supreme Court, identified as index number 006539-2025. This resolution shall take effect immediately. May I have a motion? Thank you, Jason. A second, John. All in favor? Thank you. Anybody opposed or abstaining? And item 11, adjournment. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Fayetteville-Manlius Central School District hereby adjourns the meeting at 9:17. Thank you, Marissa. And second, Jason. All in favor? Thank you.